You see, back then, I didn't want to answer that question. Don't get me wrong. I've always been a dreamer. I've always had ideas and things that I wanted to do. I remember being a little girl and I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to do all these grand things, right? Those were the things that I shared that people kind of knew openly. But that wasn't the tip of the iceberg. There was even more that I didn't share. You know why? Because I was afraid of what other people might say, of what other people might do and think. So that's kind of like what I want to talk about a little bit today. I got a couple of words of encouragement for you today. Hey there, I'm Dr. Tam. I am your empowerment coach. And today we are talking more about fear. The last couple of times I've shared a few things with you about fear, and I want to take that a little bit deeper. To get a better understanding of how fear actually keeps us from moving forward in our lives, how fear actually holds us in place, hold us stuck in place to keep us from living the life that we were actually truly created to live. So right now, you're looking around and you're thinking to yourself, you're finally realizing that, you know what? I am doing only what I saw that was done. And now that I'm doing it, I'm saying to myself, oh, it's got to be better. This is you having a conversation with you. These are some thoughts in your head. This is what you're looking around and you see. So you were raised in a single parent home. You saw your mom or your dad or maybe your grandmother, whomever it was that raised you. You saw them get out and get it. You saw them hustle. You saw them grind. You saw that they weren't always at home. You know why? Because they were on somebody's job. Because they had to do that. They had to work 2 and 3 jobs just to be able to provide for you. So you saw that hustle. You saw that grind. And you're growing up around that. Now you find yourself doing that exact same thing. But here's the difference. It's different now because you're actually saying to yourself, wait a minute now, it's got to be more to it than this. Yeah, I'm doing all the things, but I know it's got to be more. I'm tired of this. I want my life to look different. You are the one with that one question, with that one reflection and thought in your mind. You are the one who's ready to break out, to break the mold, to break those generational cycles. Because now you see that, yes, I'm doing what I was told to do. Yes, I'm doing what I was shown to do. But now I'm in a place like it's got to be some more to it. And it is. There is more to it. That was me. That was my story. I saw the hustle. I saw the grind. Go to school, get out, get a good job. What do I do? Turn right around and keep doing that hustle and that grind and working every single day. That's exactly what you're doing. You get up, you get dressed, you go to work, you do your work. You're good at your work, what it is that you're doing, but you come home and you like, it's got to be more to it than this. That sense of fulfillment, you don't have that. That jumping up first thing in the morning, you got a smile on your face. You're super excited to get in there to get your work done. That's not you. That's not you because you're not being fulfilled in that place. So I have a question for you, and I actually wrote it down because I want to get it right. I'm going to ask you this question. What if you couldn't fail? What if you couldn't fail? What is it that you would do? Now, I bet you have like a list of a ton of things. I'll do this. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to write that book. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to start volunteering more in my community. I'm going to open that school. I'm going to start working with kids. You have these lists, not just one, multiple lists. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get this degree. I'm going to get this certification. You have all these things that you want to do. Those are the things that you would do if you couldn't fail. I want to encourage you today that it's possible. Holding on to failure and having that as your story, that's what you're telling yourself. Oh, I'm afraid. I might fail. As long as you continue to tell yourself that, as long as that is your narrative, as long as that's where you're putting your energy and your focus into, that's exactly the life that you are going to live. That's a life of bondage. That's a life that has you stuck. That's a life that has you unhappy. That is a life that has you in a place right now where you are miserable. You don't want to get up and go to that job. Or maybe you do like your job. You do like the work that you're actually doing, but you still know that there's more. You still want to do some more. But fear kind of has you right now. Fear got this hold on you right now. Because that fear is, but wait a minute. If I step out and do this, that's going to be more than what they did. What are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? Will they support me? How am I going to get started? I don't have a blueprint. I don't have a model. No one's ever done this before in my family. Where do I get started? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? You got all these questions that are coming up inside of you, and that's legitimate. That's good, because now you're thinking about these things instead of letting these things hold you down. Because as long as you get them out, you know the source, you know where it's coming from. Okay, the fear is, I'm afraid to do better than what they did because I'm afraid of what they may think. But you're not living for them. You're living your life. You're living the life that you were created to live. You are to do what you were created to do. And it is more. It is more. It's more than what they did. So don't let that define you. That right there is a part of your stepping stone. That's where you're going to step up to. And guess what? You're going to keep on stepping because that's not where it ends for you. You have more inside of you. There is more that you want to do. And you can do it. You can step out and you can actually go and get it done. So if you knew that you could not fail, what is it that you would do? That's going to be your homework. That's going to be a question I want you to ask yourself. You start getting it out. You start writing down. Grab your journal, grab you a pen, go to a quiet place where it is just you. Maybe put on some soft meditation music. No lyrics, instrumental. Where you are just like in a zone. You are off to yourself. You are by yourself, and just start writing. Get all of it out of you. Because there is greatness inside of you. There is something that wants to come out of you, but you got a block on you. You got a block because you worried about what they gonna say. Let me tell you something. They gonna talk anyway. And truth be told, we're not just talking about the streets. Because some of the talk actually comes from within the house. Some of that talk comes from within the family. They gonna talk anyway. While they're sitting there talking about you, stopping you, they might be over there on the other side doing their own thing. They just don't want to see you prosper. They don't want to see you advance. They got somebody over there in their ear. Girl, you can go. You can do that. Go get it. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. And here you are sitting there worried about what they gonna think about you. Let them think. Let them think what they want to. Let them say what they want to. Because their thoughts, their talk, none of that. However they respond to you, that is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is what you have been given to do, what you were created to do. That dream that's inside of you, the goals that you want to accomplish, that is for you. Nobody else. That is just for you. So I want to encourage you today that it is possible. You got these dreams and these ideas. You are supposed to keep going. It's like it's like running a relay in track. Okay. So here they come. They pass the baton off to you. What you gonna do? Just stand there and hold the baton? No. You better get it. And you finna take off. You finna take off like it is fire behind you that's coming after you. You are blazing a trail. That's what you are supposed to do. When they pass the baton off to you, you don't sit there. You don't just sit there and start talking to them. What kind of progress are you making? None. When that baton gets in your hand, boom, go. And you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. Because now what you are doing, you have another generation that's coming up behind you who's watching you. And guess what? You're going to pass this baton on to them, and they going to keep on running. This is how we break cycles. We don't just get the baton and we hold it and we stand there and we start talking. It is a race. It is a race that we are running. I've been talking about, in my past couple of videos, I've been talking about this being the fourth quarter. This is the fourth quarter. There is a sense of urgency to get it done. There is still time left on the clock. Let's go get it done. Let's go get it done. Baton, get your hand, boom, go. And you keep going and you keep going and you keep going because you are now blazing the trail for the next generation. Failure only exists when you give it the power to. You are the author of your own story. Either you can sit there and hold that baton when they pass it off to you and you do absolutely nothing. Or you can get that thing in your hand and you can take off and you can run with it. And as you are running, you are now writing a new story where failure is no longer a character. Failure is no longer a character in your story. So you out there, you doing brand new things. You're doing things that you've never done before. Yes. Are you going to fall? Are you going to make some mistakes? Absolutely. Are you going to take some losses? No, because we're turning those losses into learning. That's how you're going to keep the power. That's how you're going to keep the strength to just keep going. So now what you realize, I want to point this out to you. Now when that baton is in your hand and you are running, you are now running into places where you've never been before. Your environment is changing. The people around you are changing. Now you're getting into spaces where people are telling you, oh, you did a wonderful job. Well, congratulations. You're doing excellent. I love the work that you're doing. Keep going. I'm super excited for you. Hey, is there anything that I can do for you? How can I help you? How can I support you? Hey, let me know. I'd be more than glad to help you. You looking around like, wait a minute, what is this? Exactly. Because now that baton is in your hand, now you are running your leg of the race. You are in a new environment. As long as you keep going, guess what? The support is going to come along with it. The new environment, the new people, the new resources, the new opportunities, doors are just going to start opening up for you. Bam, 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 bam. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. But you have to make that decision. You have to make the decision. You know what? I'm erasing fear out of my story. I am erasing fear out of my story. I'm now replacing fear with the faith. Fear's new name is now faith because I trust and I believe that what I am doing is what I have truly been called to do. This is a conversation that you are looking at yourself in the mirror and you are having with yourself. You know what? I can do this. I am no longer afraid. You are no longer afraid. You have given fear a new name. You have now calling fear faith. You now have the power to keep running. You now have the power to go into new places. You now have the power to make new friends. You have the power to unlock new resources. You have the power to open up doors for new opportunities. You have the power because you have decided to break that cycle. You have decided that now that that baton is in your hand, you're going to run on just a little while longer. You have decided to make it better for the generation that's coming up behind you because you are keep going. You are going. That's what you are doing. So I'll leave you with this question. Again, what if you couldn't fail? We've given it a new name. It's now faith. It is faith. It is trust. It is the belief that you can do this. That's what it is. So what you gonna do? So what are you gonna do with it? I hope you fired up because I'm fired up. I want to encourage you that when that baton hits your hand, run. You gonna run like you ain't never ran before. You gonna keep your eyes straight. You keep your eyes focused. You keep moving toward the prize because it is there for you. The life that you want, you focus on that. You focus on the things that lie ahead for you. A life of abundance, a life of great wealth, a life of prosperity, a life of peace, a life of joy, a life of not having to worry about how are you going to make ends meet. That's the life that you have been promised. That's what you keep focus on. Hey, y'all, I'm Dr. Tam. I'm your empowerment coach. And I hope that with this word, you are inspired to keep going, that you are inspired. Change the name. Change the name of the characters in your story. Fear is no longer a character in your story. We now got to call it faith because that's the only way you're going to be able to move forward. Get that baton in your hand and you run like you've never run before. Hey, listen, if you are looking for an environment where you will receive continuous support just like this, the encouragement, the motivation, the tools that you will need to actually fulfill the life that you have been created to fulfill. If you are looking for that community, I want you to click the link down below. Click the link down below and I would love to tell you more about our coaching programs. I would love to tell you more about our online community. We are a community of Christians who have been empowered and who are now thriving in life. We are overcoming fear. Fear has now been replaced with faith. There's no more doubting ourselves. We're no longer worried about what other people are going to think of us. We are focused on doing what God has created us to do. If this is a community that you know that you need, if this is a community where you know where you can truly use this type of environment to help you to keep going, click that link below and you and I will have a conversation about it. All right? I hope this blesses you today. Take care.